Have you ever looked at a photo of yourself and felt like something was missing? Not your smile. Not your posture. But you. Like the camera captured your face, but not your spirit. What if I told you there's a reason for that? And it goes far deeper than lighting, angles, or filters. What if the reason you don't recognize yourself is because the world hasn't seen who you truly are yet? Today, we're not just talking about photographs. We're talking about identity, energy, and the sacred light that's been hidden inside you for far too long. You're not just a face. Your energy. Your frequency. Your spirit. And sometimes, the world's lens can't decode the language of your soul. This isn't about vanity. It's about identity. It's about why the world so often fails to truly see you. If you've ever felt invisible in your own life, if you've ever wondered why your light doesn't shine like it should, then this message isn't a coincidence. It's a calling. So, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's the universe whispering, you're beginning to see the truth. Now, breathe. Ground yourself. What you're about to hear could shift something deep inside you. Ready? Look again, not at your reflection in the mirror, or on a screen, but at the one behind your eyes. Who are you, really? Because here's a truth no one tells you, maybe the reason you don't look good in photos is because the person in those pictures isn't you. It's a version. A mask. A projection built from fear, judgment, and stories that were never truly yours. When your soul, the purest, most radiant part of you, is out of alignment with the identity you've accepted, the camera picks up on that. It captures the tension. The misalignment. Your body says, smile, but your spirit whispers, this isn't me. Maybe you've been performing. Trying to fit into roles, expectations, and molds you were never meant to fill. And every time someone points a camera your way, you shrink, not because you're not beautiful, but because beauty dims when truth is hidden. You weren't born to be a replica. You were born to be a revelation. So ask yourself, who is the version of me I've been showing the world? And what part of me have I been hiding? Because until those two parts meet, the seen and the sacred, your reflection will always feel like a stranger. The camera will keep showing you someone you don't fully recognize. But maybe, just maybe, the reason you've never looked right in photos is because the real you hasn't stepped forward yet. Hold on to that thought. Have you ever noticed how some people glow in even the simplest pictures? It's not their makeup. Not the lighting. It's their energy. Because energy, whether visible or not, speaks volumes. And the truth is, some of us are carrying energy that doesn't belong to us, pain we never healed, words we never deserved, people who drained us but we couldn't let go. These things don't vanish. They cling. They cloud our aura, dull our light, distort our presence. That's why you look at a photo and think, I look tired. But it's not tired. It's spiritual exhaustion. A soul burdened by things it was never meant to carry, broken relationships, old wounds, inner critics whispering, you're not enough. This kind of weight doesn't just bruise your heart, it warps your image. Because when your spirit is suffocating, the camera doesn't lie. It captures the truth beneath the surface. Sometimes, that truth is, you've been surviving for so long, you forgot what it feels like to shine. But let me remind you, your light is still there. Buried, but never broken. And every layer of pain you release brings that light back into focus. Maybe it's not your face that needs retouching, maybe it's your energy that's crying for renewal. And once you begin to cleanse your spirit, something beautiful happens. The world finally begins to see the real you. But if you thought that was powerful, wait. Because there's something else, something darker, that's been trying to keep you hidden. Not just energy, but something watching. Something that doesn't want you to be seen. Not every distortion is accidental. Not every discomfort is random. Sometimes, the shadows in your image aren't from poor lighting. They're from a spiritual battle that's already begun. Because when your light is rare, when your presence shifts rooms, when your voice carries awakening, you become a target. Some souls carry a frequency that disrupts darkness. A radiance that stirs the sleeping. A presence that shakes the unseen. And that kind of light, it doesn't go unnoticed. There are forces, silent, strategic, subtle, that work overtime to blur your vision, dim your glow, and make you question your beauty, your worth, your truth. Because if they can make you hide, they never have to face the power you carry. So think about it. Why do you only seem off when you're finally stepping into your confidence? Why do the photos you hate most often come from moments when you were beginning to feel free? It's because the enemy doesn't attack what's ordinary, it targets what's chosen. If your light feels dimmed in the physical, it might be because your spirit is blazing too brightly in the spiritual. But here's the twist, what darkness fears most is exposure. Because once you realize you're being targeted, you stop blaming yourself, and you start fighting back. So don't be discouraged by that strange, uneasy feeling you get when you look at your photos. Be alert. Be armored. Because the battle has never been about your face. It's always been about your purpose. And what's coming next will help you see yourself the way heaven always has, clearly, radiantly, and untouchably. Let me ask you something, what if the camera isn't lying, but you are? Not on purpose. Not out of malice. But quietly, daily, with every belief you've accepted about yourself that didn't come from God. You say, I look tired. God says, you're carrying too much. You say, I look broken. God says, you're healing. You whisper, I'm not enough. But God never said that. The mirror you use every day isn't warped by glass. It's been distorted by years of criticism, comparison, and silent self-rejection. You've been taught to spot flaws before recognizing favor. To dim your light before someone accuses you of shining too brightly. So when you look at a photo, you don't really see yourself. You see your shame. You see what they said about you. You see every time you felt invisible. You see every lie you silently agreed with. But God, He sees glory. He sees a warrior who survived what should have ended them. He sees a light that hell couldn't snuff out. He sees a masterpiece in progress, and loves every brushstroke. Maybe the issue isn't how the world captures you. Maybe it's how you've been conditioned to filter yourself. Because when your inner voice is poisoned, even your outer reflection gets distorted. But the moment you start seeing yourself through the eyes of the one who created you, something shifts, not just in your mind, but in your presence, your posture, your glow. And suddenly, the photos begin to change, not because your face is different, but because your faith is louder than your fear. Hold tight. Because what I'm about to say next will explain why your light hasn't fully appeared yet, and why the timing is no accident. What if the reason you don't shine in photos is because you were never meant to? Not yet. We live in a world that worships visibility. If you're not seen, you're ignored. If you're not praised, you're forgotten. But God doesn't move by popularity. He doesn't rush to reveal what He's still refining. Some of the most powerful souls walk through life unnoticed, not because they lack beauty, brilliance, or strength, but because heaven is still protecting their unveiling. When God hides you, it's not rejection, it's preparation. It's sacred obscurity. Like a seed buried beneath the soil. You might not look like much right now, but roots are growing. Depth is forming. Strength is being built, in silence. While the world scrolls past your image, God is shaping something in you that no lens can capture, yet. Maybe that photo didn't flatter you because it was never meant to define you. Maybe your glow didn't show, because it's being saved for a moment that will shift everything. You are not behind. You are becoming. And trust this, when God is ready to reveal you, no camera, no filter, no lighting will be able to contain your radiance. So the next time a photo disappoints, whisper this to your soul. I'm not meant to be seen right now, I'm meant to be prepared. Because when that preparation ends, the world will finally witness what heaven has known all along. But stay with me. Because we're not done. In these final moments, I want to speak something over you, a truth that's been waiting in the shadows of your spirit. Let this sink in. You were never meant to fit inside a frame. Looking good in a photo. That's surface level. You were created to pierce the darkness. To shift atmospheres. To carry a presence no filter can define and no algorithm can measure. You don't just appear, you reveal. Heaven didn't place light in you so it could be cropped, edited, or judged by earthly standards. No. It was placed there to ignite the world. So the next time you feel that familiar ache of disappointment while looking at a photo, remember. That image doesn't hold your identity. It never did. Your beauty is divine. Your worth is eternal. Your glow is sacred. And maybe, just maybe, God has been waiting for you to see it. Because once you do, you'll stop dimming your light for spaces that were never meant to contain it. Now hear me, and hear me clearly. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are being unveiled. And when the time comes, every eye will see what heaven already knows. You are radiant. You are chosen. You are unstoppable. If this message awakened something inside you, don't let it fade. Like this video to affirm your light. Share it with someone who's forgotten their power. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, because this is just the beginning of your awakening. Comment below, I am heaven's masterpiece. Let it be your declaration. Because your light is not meant to be hidden, it's meant to be seen.